Leviticus chapter 24. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command the people of Israel to bring you pure oil from the beaten olives for the lamp, that a light may be kept burning regularly. Outside the veil of the testimony in the tent of meeting, Aaron shall arrange it from evening to morning before the Lord regularly. It shall be a statute throughout your generations. He shall arrange the lamps on the lampstand of pure gold before the Lord regularly. You shall take fine flour and bake 12 loaves from it. 2/10 of an ephah shall be in each loaf, and you shall set them in 2 piles, 6 in a pile, on the table of pure gold before the Lord. And you shall put pure frankincense on each pile, that it may go with the bread as a memorial portion, as a food offering to the Lord. Every Sabbath day, Aaron shall arrange it before the Lord regularly. It is from the people of Israel as a covenant forever. And it shall be for Aaron and his sons, and they shall eat it in a holy place, since it is for him a most holy portion out of the Lord's offering, a perpetual due. Now an Israelite woman's son, whose father was an Egyptian, went out among the people of Israel. And the Israelite woman, her son, and a man of Israel fought in the camp. And the Israelite woman's son blasphemed about the name and cursed. Then they brought him to Moses. His mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan. And they put him in custody till the will of the Lord should be cleared to them. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Bring out of the camp the one who cursed, and let all who heard him lay their hands on his head, and let all the congregation stone him. And speak to the people of Israel, saying, Whoever curses his God shall bear his sin. Whoever blasphemes the name of the Lord shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him, the sojourner as well as the native. When he blasphemes the name, shall be put to death. Whoever takes a human life shall surely be put to death. Whoever takes an animal's life shall make it good, life for life. If anyone injures his neighbor as he has done, it shall be done to him. Fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Whatever injury he has given a person shall be given to him. Whoever kills an animal shall make it good, and whoever kills a person shall be put to death. You shall have the same rule for the sojourner and for the native, for I am the Lord your God. So Moses spoke to the people of Israel, and they brought out of the camp the one who had cursed and stoned him with stones. Thus the people of Israel did as the Lord commanded Moses. Leviticus chapter 25. The Lord spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai and commanded him to give the following regulations to the people of Israel. When you enter the land that the Lord is giving you, you shall honor the Lord by not cultivating the land every 7th year. You shall sow your field, prune your vineyards, and gather your crops for 6 years, but the 7th year is to be a year of complete rest for the land, a year dedicated to the Lord. Do not sow your fields or prune your vineyards. Do not even harvest the corn that grows by itself without being sown, and do not gather the grapes from your unpruned vines. It is a year of complete rest for the land. Although the land has not been cultivated during that year, it will provide food for you, your slaves, your hired men, the foreigners living with you, your domestic animals, and the wild animals in your fields. Everything that it produces may be eaten. Count 7 times 7 years, a total of 49 years. Then on this 10th day of the 7th month, the Day of Atonement, send someone to blow a trumpet throughout the whole land. In this way you shall set the 50th year apart and proclaim freedom to all the inhabitants of the land. During this year, all property that has been sold shall be restored to the original owner or his descendants, and anyone who has been sold a slave shall return to his family. You shall not sow your fields, or harvest the corn that grows by itself, or gather the grapes in your unpruned vineyards. The whole year shall be sacred for you. You shall eat only what the fields produce of themselves. In this year, all property that has been sold shall be restored to its original owner. So when you sell land to your fellow Israelite or buy land from him, do not deal unfairly. The price is to be fixed according to the number of years the land can produce crops before the year of restoration, which comes next. If there are many years, the price shall be higher, but if there are only a few years, the price shall be lower, because what is being sold is the number of crops the land can produce. Do not cheat a fellow Israelite, but obey the Lord your God. Obey all the Lord's laws and commands, so that you may live in safety in the land. The land will produce its crops, and you will have all you want to eat, and you will live in safety. But someone may ask, what there will be to eat during the 7th year when no fields are sown and no crops gathered. The Lord will bless the land in the 6th year so that it will produce enough food for 2 years. When you sow your fields in the 8th year, you will still be eating what you harvested during the 6th year, and you will have enough to eat until the crops you plant that year are harvested. Your land must not be sold on a permanent basis because you do not own it. It belongs to God, and you are like foreigners who are allowed to make use of it. When land is sold, the right of the original owner to buy it back must be recognized. If an Israelite becomes poor and is forced to sell his land, his closest relative is to buy it back. Anyone who has no relative to buy it back may later become prosperous and have enough to buy it back. And in that case, he must pay to the man who brought it a sum that will make up for the years remaining until the next year of restoration, when he would in any event recover his land. But if he does not have enough money to buy the land back, it remains under the control of the man who bought it until the next year of restoration. In that year, it will be returned to its original owner. If someone sells a house in a walled city, he has the right to buy it back during the first full year from the date of sale. But if he does not buy it back within the year, he loses the right of repurchase, and the house becomes the permanent property of the purchaser and his descendants. It will not be returned in the year of restoration. But houses in unwalled villages are to be treated like fields. The original owner has the right to buy them back, and they are to be returned in the year of restoration. However, Levites have the right to buy back at any time their property in the cities assigned to them. If a house is one of these in cities is sold by a Levite and is not brought back, it must be returned in the year of restoration, because the houses which the Levites own in their cities are their permanent property among the people of Israel. But the pasture land around the Levite cities shall never be sold. It is their property forever. If a fellow Israelite living near you becomes poor and cannot support himself or herself, you must provide for them as you would for hired servants, so that they can continue to live near you. Do not charge them any interest, but obey God and let your fellow Israelites live near you. Do not take or make them pay interest on the money they get from you, and do not make any profit on the food you sell them. This is the command of the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt in order to give you the land of Canaan and to be your God. If a fellow Israelite living near you becomes so poor that he sells himself to you as a slave, you shall not make him do the work of a slave. He shall stay with you as a hired servant and serve you until the next year of restoration. At that time, he and his children shall leave you and return to his family and to the property of his ancestors. The people of Israel are the Lord's slaves, and He is the one who brought them out of Egypt. They must not be sold into slavery. Do not treat them harshly, but obey your Lord. If you need slaves, you may buy them from the nations around you. You may also buy the children of the foreigners who are living among you. Such children born in your land may become your property, and you may leave them as an inheritance to your sons, whom they must serve as long as they live. But you must not treat any of your fellow Israelites harshly. Suppose a foreigner living with you becomes rich, while a fellow Israelite becomes poor, and sells himself as a slave to that foreigner or to a member of his family. After he is sold, he still has the right to be brought back. One of his brothers or his uncle or his cousin or another of his close relatives may buy him back. Or if he earns enough, he may buy him own freedom. He must consult the one who brought him, and they must count the years from the time he sold himself until the next year of restoration, and must set the price for his release on the basis of the wages paid to a hired servant. He must refund a part of the purchase price according to the number of years left, as if he had been hired on an annual basis. His master must not treat him harshly. If he is not set free in any of these ways, he and his children must be set free in the next year of restoration. An Israelite cannot be a permanent slave, because the people of Israel are the Lord's slaves. He brought them out of Egypt. He is the Lord, their God. Leviticus chapter 26. The Lord said, "Do not make idols or set up statues, stone pillars, or carved stones to worship. I am the Lord your God. Keep the religious festivals and honor the place where I am worshipped. I am the Lord. If you live according to my laws and obey my commands, I will send you rain at the right time, so that the land will produce crops and the trees will bear fruit. Your crops will be so plentiful that you will still be harvesting corn when it is time to pick grapes, and you will still be picking grapes when it is time to sow corn. You will have all that you want to eat, and you will live in safety in your land. I will give you peace in your land, and you will sleep without being afraid of anyone. I will get rid of the dangerous animals in the land, and there will be no more war there. You will be victorious over your enemies. 5 of you will be able to defeat 100, and 100 will be able to defeat 10,000. I will bless you and give you many children. I will keep my part of the covenant that I made with you. Your harvests will be so plentiful that they will last for a year, and even then you will have to throw away what is left of the old harvest to make room for the new. I will live among you in my sacred tent, and I will never turn away from you. I will be with you, I will be your God, and you will be my people. I, the Lord your God, brought you out of Egypt, so that you would no longer be slaves. I broke the power that held you down, and I let you walk with your head held high. The Lord said, "If you will not obey my commands, you will be punished. Use to If you refuse to obey my laws and commands and break the covenant I have made with you, I will punish you. I will bring disaster on you, incurable diseases and fevers that will make you blind and cause your life to waste away. You will sow your seed, but it will do you no good, because your enemies will conquer you and eat what you have grown. I will turn against you so that you will be defeated, and those who hate you will rule over you. You will be so terrified that you will run when no one is chasing you. Even after all this, if you still do not obey me, I will increase your punishment 7 times. I will break your stubborn pride. There will be no rain, and your land will be dry and as hard as iron. All your hard work will do you no good, because your land will not produce crops and the trees will not bear fruit. If you still continue to resist me and refuse to obey me, I will again increase your punishment 7 times. I will send dangerous animals among you, and they will kill your children, destroy your livestock, and leave so few of you that your roads will be deserted. If after all this punishment you still do not listen to me but continue to defy me, then I will turn on you and punish you 7 times harder than before. I will bring war on you to punish you for breaking our covenant, and if you gather in your cities for safety, I will send incurable diseases among you, and you will be forced to surrender to your enemies. I will cut off your food supply so that 10 women will need only one oven to bake all the bread that they have. They will ration it out, and when you have eaten all, you will still be hungry. If after all this you still continue to defy me and refuse to obey me, then in my anger I will turn on you and again make your punishment 7 times worse than before. Your hunger will be so great that you will eat your own children. I will destroy your places of worship on the hills, tear down your incense altars, and throw your dead bodies on the fallen idols. In utter disgust, I will turn your cities into ruins, destroy your places of worship, and refuse to accept your sacrifices. I will destroy your land so completely that the enemies who occupy it will be shocked at the destruction. I will bring war on you and scatter you in foreign lands. You and your land will be deserted, and your cities left in ruins. Then the land will enjoy the years of complete rest that you would not give it. It will lie abandoned and get its rest while you are in exile in the land of your enemies. I will make those of you who are in exile so terrified that the sound of a leaf blowing in the wind will make you run. You will run as if you were being pursued in battle, and you will fall when there is no enemy near you. You will stumble over one another when no one is chasing you, and you will be unable to fight against any enemy. You will die in exile, swallowed up by the land of your enemies. The few of you who survive in the land of your enemies will waste away because of your own sin and the sin of your ancestors. But your descendants will confess their sins and the sins of their ancestors who resisted me and rebelled against me and made me turn against them and send them into exile in the land of their enemies. At last, when your descendants are humbled and they have paid the penalty for their sin and rebellion, I will remember my covenant with Jacob and with Isaac and with Abraham, and I will renew my promise to give my people the land. First, however, the land must get rid of its people so that it can enjoy its complete rest, and they must pay the full penalty of having rejected my laws and my commands. But even then, when they are still in the land of enemies, I will not completely abandon or destroy them. That would put an end to my covenant with them, and I am the Lord their God. I will renew the covenant that I made with my people, the ancestors, when I showed all the nations my power by bringing the people out of Egypt in order that I, the Lord, might be their God. All these are the laws and commands that the Lord gave to Moses on Mount Sinai for the people of Israel.